What if the fourth member of Bloodline 2026 is not who you think it is? Because after everything that went down on the April 24th episode of WWE Smackdown, the picture has completely changed, and the race for that fourth spot just got a whole lot more complicated. So stay with us, because by the end of this video, you are going to see this storyline in a completely different light. Welcome back to Wrestling Juice, the channel where we break down every twist, every turn, and every swerve in the world of professional wrestling. And today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about storylines in WWE right now, which is the Bloodline reunion and the mystery of who will stand beside Roman Reigns as the fourth member of Bloodline 2026. Not too long ago, this whole situation felt pretty cut and dry. Jacob Fatu seemed like the obvious choice, the natural pick, the guy who was being built up as the next big piece of the Bloodline puzzle. But after what we witnessed on Smackdown, things are no longer that simple, and several other Samoan superstars have now thrown themselves into the conversation in a very real and meaningful way. So let us break this all down properly, starting from the very beginning of how we got here. If you were watching Monday Night Raw recently, you already know that the Bloodline reunion storyline kicked into a higher gear when Jacob Fatu stepped up in front of Roman Reigns as his first challenger. Roman Reigns, being the calculated and methodical character that he is, did not take the challenge lightly. Instead, he told Jacob Fatu straight to his face that in his eyes, Jacob simply was not ready yet. Roman then asked for a follow-up meeting on the next Monday Night Raw to continue the conversation, and on top of that, he pulled Jimmy Uso aside and told him to have a word with Jacob Fatu and make sure he understood that going against the tribal chief was not the right move. That set the stage perfectly for what happened on Smackdown on April 24th, 2026. Jacob Fatu came out to the ring and wasted absolutely no time picking up right where things left off on Raw. He made it crystal clear to everyone in that arena that he is ready, that he has proven himself, and that he deserves his shot at the championship. He was fired up, he was passionate, and he was not backing down from anybody. Just as the energy in the building was reaching a boiling point, the theme music of Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso hit, and the two of them made their way down to the ring together. Rather than confronting Jacob Fatu, they took a different approach and tried to talk some sense into him. They told him that going against Roman Reigns was not the path he should be walking, and that if he genuinely wanted to be in the championship picture, the smarter move would be to set his sights on Cody Rhodes instead. But the Usos did not stop there. Jimmy Uso went one step further and extended an official invitation to Jacob Fatu to join the Bloodline, which was a huge moment that the entire arena reacted to. Before Jacob Fatu could even respond to that invitation, things took another dramatic turn when the music of the main event faction, also known as MFTT, started playing, and Solo Sikoa made his entrance. Solo walked to the ring and looked Jacob Fatu in the eye and told him that he could not take down Roman Reigns on his own, that he would need an army behind him, and that Solo already had one ready. That is when Tama Tonga stepped in and interrupted Solo Sikoa, essentially undermining him by saying that talking about defeating Roman Reigns was pointless because Jacob Fatu could not even beat Solo Sikoa. The tension in that ring was absolutely electric, and Jacob Fatu responded the only way a man of his intensity knows how, by hitting Tama Tonga with a super kick and then challenging Solo Sikoa to a match right then and there. That match ended up being the main event of the evening, and the entire MFTT faction was ringside, repeatedly trying to stick their noses into the action and cost Jacob Fatu the match. It was a chaotic scene, and at one point Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso tried to step in to level the playing field and help Jacob Fatu out. However, in a very telling moment, Jacob Fatu stopped them. He wanted to handle this on his own terms, and that is exactly what he did. He overcame all of the outside interference, won the match completely on his own, and then proceeded to take out the entire MFTT faction by himself. After the dust settled, Jacob Fatu turned to Jey and Jimmy and told them to deliver a message back to Roman Reigns, and that message was simple: he is ready. Now that we have covered what happened on Smackdown, let us get into the deeper details of that episode, because there are several important developments that could have a direct impact on who the fourth member of Bloodline 2026 turns out to be. The first thing worth noting is that Sami Zayn turned heel on this episode and attacked Trick Williams, which is a significant shift in his character that opens up some very interesting possibilities. The second thing to pay attention to is the vibe that Jey Uso was giving off throughout the entire night, because there was a noticeable seriousness to him that felt very reminiscent of the old Bloodline days when things were calculated and cold rather than fun and energetic. Third, and this is subtle but important, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso did not come out with their usual yeet entrance, which suggests that their mindset has shifted and they are operating in a completely different headspace right now. Fourth, Tama Tonga grabbing the microphone from Solo Sikoa and speaking highly of Roman Reigns while simultaneously putting down Jacob Fatu tells us a lot about where his loyalties might truly lie. Fifth, Tonga Loa appeared visibly unhappy with Solo Sikoa because when it came time to select partners for the tag team match, Solo chose Tama Tonga and JC Mateo over him, leaving Tonga Loa on the outside looking in. And sixth, perhaps most importantly, when MFTT was getting dismantled by Jacob Fatu at the end of the main event, Solo Sikoa did not come out to help any of them, which means that the members of MFTT now have a legitimate reason to turn their backs on Solo and potentially walk away from that faction entirely. With all of that context in place, let us now talk about the 5 most realistic candidates for that 4th spot in Bloodline 2026, starting with number 5. At number 5, we have Tonga Loa. The reason his name is in this conversation is because he is clearly not being prioritized within MFTT right now. He is not getting the spotlight, he is not getting a real character arc, and he is not being built up in any meaningful way. Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso are smart operators, and they could absolutely take advantage of Tonga Loa's frustration and use it as leverage to recruit him into the Bloodline. It is a long shot. But it is not impossible given the current circumstances. Coming in at number 4 is Solo Sikoa. Now, Solo joining the Bloodline might seem like an unusual thought given everything that has happened, but the logic actually makes some sense when you think about it. MFTT could turn on Solo at any moment, and if that happens, Solo would be left without a faction and without a purpose on television. In that scenario, Roman Reigns could very well extend an olive branch and bring Solo back under the Bloodline umbrella. The chances are not high, but they are not zero either, and that is why he earns the number 4 spot. At number 3, we have Tama Tonga, and this one might genuinely surprise some of you. On the surface, Tama Tonga looks completely entrenched in the MFTT faction, but when you look closely at how his character has been behaving lately, there are small but noticeable signs that he is being positioned for a shift. He frequently finds himself at odds with the direction of MFTT, and his willingness to step up and speak highly of Roman Reigns while undermining his own stablemates suggests that his allegiances might be more complicated than they appear. He actually ranks higher than Solo Sikoa because the storytelling seems to be deliberately moving his character in a new direction, and that direction could very well lead him toward the Bloodline. At number 2, we have Sami Zayn, and this is where things get really interesting. The fact that Sami turned heel on this episode of Smackdown is not something that can be overlooked. Roman Reigns has made it no secret that he wants to restore the Bloodline to its former glory, and Sami Zayn was a massive part of what made the original Bloodline so compelling and so entertaining. Bringing Sami back as a heel member of the reformed Bloodline would be a genuinely exciting move, and the story could build around Sami reclaiming the United States Championship with the Bloodline's backing. It would be a full-circle moment and a deeply satisfying piece of storytelling for longtime WWE fans. And finally, at number 1, the candidate with the strongest chance of becoming the 4th member of Bloodline 2026 is Jacob Fatu. Everything about the current storyline is pointing directly at him. The prediction here is that Roman Reigns will accept Jacob Fatu's challenge and that their match will be made official for Backlash 2026, but Roman will attach a condition to it. If Jacob Fatu loses the match, he must acknowledge Roman Reigns as the tribal chief. When that match takes place, Roman will likely hold Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso back from getting involved, and he will defeat Jacob Fatu clean in the center of the ring without any outside help. From there, either at Backlash itself or within the following episode or two, the story will reach its natural conclusion, with Jacob Fatu acknowledging Roman Reigns and officially becoming the fourth member of Bloodline 2026. It is the most logical destination for this story, and it is the outcome that makes the most sense creatively and emotionally for where this whole narrative has been heading. Here at Wrestling Juice, if we had to pick just one name from that entire list, we would go with Jacob Fatu without any hesitation. The build is there, the character work is there, and the payoff would be enormous. But now we want to hear from you. Who do you think is going to be the fourth member of Bloodline 2026? Drop your answer in the comments section below, because we read every single one of them. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to Wrestling Juice so you never miss a breakdown like this one, and share this video with every wrestling fan you know, because this storyline is only going to get bigger from here.